Hey kiddos, PJ here. I know it's almost the end of the school year. We have just a few more weeks left. I think our kids at this point have like 9 days or something. So you all have to be around the same. And I know you must be excited to not have to wake up in the morning and log into your computer and do all of your schoolwork. And I'm sure your parents are excited that they don't have to figure out how to do second grade math or figure out all the hard stuff that you guys have to learn to do. So today is the last Sunday in Easter. Just a few days ago, we celebrated something called the Ascension. It's when Jesus ascended into heaven and he promised us that he would come back. And that's what we're waiting for as Christians in the church. Next Sunday is Pentecost, and that's when Jesus sends help for us. He sends somebody to comfort us and take care of us and teach us, and we call that person the Holy Spirit. And we'll learn more about that next week. But today I want to talk a little bit about teamwork. If you've ever played a game with friends, or if you've ever played a game at school, or maybe you have had to do an assignment in class with a partner or with a group, you know how important teamwork is. Teamwork is pretty important. Sometimes it's very hard to do a job on your own. Take me, for example, as a pastor. There's no way that I could take care of the church just by myself. I have a counsel. I have a secretary in the office who helps me. I have people who come to church all the time to help me with little things, whether it's fixing a light bulb or running the sweeper or helping me to fold bulletins or write things for a newsletter, or maybe they're going to help somebody in need, or maybe they're calling members of the church to just see how they're doing. I, as a pastor, always have help because here we work as a team, as a church. We do it all together. That's part of being a Christian is and doing ministry, and our mission work is done together. In today's gospel, in the Gospel of John, chapter 17, verses 1 to 11, in the last few verses, Jesus is praying to the Father, but he's praying for us. Have you ever had somebody say, "I'm going to pray for you"? It's a pretty cool feeling, especially if they pray for you right at that moment, or just knowing that somebody out there is praying for you. Just so you know, I pray for you guys every single day. So Jesus is talking to God the Father, and he's saying, listen, I want you to take care of them. And I'm going to read you that verse, okay? It's verse 11. It's the last verse. And now I am no longer in the world, but they are in the world. He's talking about us. And I am coming to you. He's talking about God. Holy Father, protect them in your name that you have given me, so that they may be one as we are one. Now, Jesus is talking about his relationship with the Father and how they are one. You know how sometimes we say Father, Son, and Holy Spirit? That we don't have three gods, we have just one, but they're three persons. I know it's very, very confusing. Sometimes I don't even understand it, and that's okay. We call it a mystery, and mysteries are good. So, Jesus says, before he's getting ready to be crucified, his last prayer, well, not his last prayer, but in this final part of this verse, Jesus is praying in one of his final acts before he gets arrested in the garden. He's praying to God and asking God not only to protect us, but to make us one. He wants us to be unified as a people, as a church. He wants us to work together. Now, in one of the other Gospels, in the Gospel of Luke, Jesus is getting ready to send out his disciples. And in this particular chapter, from chapter 10, he's going to send out 70. That's a lot of people, right? He's going to send out 70 people, but he sends them in pairs, 2 by 2. So let me read that for you. Chapter 10, verse 1 of Luke's Gospel. After this, the Lord appointed 70 others and sent them on ahead of him in pairs to every town and place where he himself intended to go. They're getting the place ready for Jesus. He said to them, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore ask the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest." Now, we won't necessarily talk about the harvest, but what he's talking about there is that everything's ready. Right? The fruit's ready, the vegetables are ready, everything's ready, but we need to go out and gather everything together. And it's easier to do that when you have somebody with you. So today, my friends, I want you to remember that you are never alone, that we as the church are one, that we are a team, that everything we do it together, whether that's praying for each other, working together, and our job is to tell people about Jesus. And sometimes that can be pretty intimidating when you think about doing it on your own. But Jesus sends out his disciples in pairs. He asks God to make us one as they are one, so that it reminds us all the time that we're supposed to do things together. So there's no I in team. We, the church, are a team. We are to do ministry together. And when we feel alone, Jesus sends the Holy Spirit to us to comfort us and teach us and to remind us that God is always with us. So I hope you have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Be safe, have fun, and especially I want you all to remember those who have died, who have fought in our armed services around the world, and those who have sacrificed their lives so that we can enjoy our freedom of working together in the church. It's something we have to remember tomorrow. It's our job. Okay? So I love you. I think you're great and special and fantastic. Have a wonderful weekend, and I hope to see you soon.